guys, it's Chelsea with Austin Underground. I'm sitting here with Jack Garratt. How are you doing?
I'm alright, I'm okay, I think.
You think? What?
I'm still trying to figure out where I am. I know I'm in Austin. I know I'm at Austin city limits. That's all the information I have at the moment in my head, which is good. It's great. I like that. I like that my life is a series of and then moments. It's great.
I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
How's the heat treating you?
It's okay. We were just briefly talking about this. I may have overcompensated with my outfit today. But when you look as good as this, can you ever overcompensate? Hey, I don't think I look that good. I don't know where that came from. That's not me. That's not me.
You look great. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and start talking about your music.
Yes.
So your debut album, Phases, is out.
Yeah,
Face, sorry.
No worries.
Talking about phases later, phases in life. Is that where you got it from?
Kind of. It's more the record to kind of to write it, to produce it, to mix it, to piece it together took up to 4 years, and it deals with like lyrically and kind of thematically deals with a very strange part of my adolescence where I was kind of coming to terms with the lack of importance I kind of had in the grand scheme of things, but also the importance I had to myself, and how that kind of level of self-understanding is a very strange thing to try and achieve, to understand that you are just part of a bigger picture, but to also understand that you are important to yourself. And the album kind of talks about that and deals with that part of my life. It being called Phase kind of lends itself to the idea that every moment like that in life has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, and then the next thing happens. Like, though you can feel like you're stuck inside a moment forever, you're only ever in it for a moment. So you can kind of keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
You're still really young to be already thinking that way.
Yeah, I guess. I'm turning 25 in 10 days, so
wow.
9 days.
I just
9 days.
24, so
Hey.
we're both getting old.
And apparently all of our star signs have changed recently, which I've read about somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I think I'm now something else. I'm not a Libra. Yeah, there's a brand new one because everything's changed, and so I'm not a Libra anymore. I'm something else.
Well, I'd better still be a Cancer, because I've been a Cancer my whole life, and it'll mess up my whole vibe if I'm something else.
And that's it.
Right.
Ain't no NASA gonna tell me otherwise.
So I've read a little bit about your background. What do you think is, talking about phases of your life, what do you think has been your favorite phase, or to you the most important and most educating phase?
Probably the one I'm kind of in. Like, the great thing about it is that, like, I don't know, I used to kind of think of my life so far in like segments. So like me as a baby, or me as a toddler, or me as a teenager kind of thing. But the thing I love about looking at life in the way I kind of look at it now is like the phases, the moments of it, the segments of it can overlap, and they can start from whenever and end from whenever. They don't just have to like stop and start at the same place, and an old one ends and a new one begins kind of thing. Like, that can always overlap. So the one I was talking about earlier, the last 4 years of making this record, has overlapped into this part of my life that I'm living right now, which is a time that I'm really, really enjoying, simply because I'm learning so much every day. Like, I get to travel around the world and share the music I make with, hopefully, people who want to listen to it. And what's amazing about that is I enjoy it, but I also every now and then don't. And that's been a really interesting kind of thing to experience, is the ups and downs of having the opportunities that I have, and feeling guilty ever about thinking badly about it, but then feeling elated every time I realize how lucky I am. So like, just kind of, that's one example of 1,000 things that happen every day when I'm kind of lucky enough to be able to come and do what I do.
Yeah. And so we're a college TV program, so you went to college, right, briefly?
Yeah, for about a day.
And then I read you kind of had like a existential crisis.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very common thing, especially among people our age.
Yeah.
How did you get through that? Like, do you have any advice for other people trying to deal with that kind of thing?
I got through it well. I mean, I'm still going through it, but I think that's kind of the point. I realized I'd never get through it, and so instead I decided to do things that felt right to help deal with it, rather than, try and... I think, part of being alive is not knowing how you are alive, and that's just a fun question. But that's the thing, it's turning that from being the thing that keeps you up at night to the thing that sends you to sleep, the thing that calms you rather than the thing that stresses you out. And one of the first decisions I made actually to kind of deal with all that was I dropped out of university. So that's my message to everyone who's watching this. Just drop out. Bless you. Just drop out. Just be done with no. The minute I said to myself, maybe I should drop out of university, I'd done it. Like, I knew that was exactly what was going to happen. I was just kidding myself if I ever thought I'll just do it for another week. Like, at that age, in your early 20s, in your mid-20s, like, you should listen to yourself a lot more than you do. Like, I definitely found that for myself. I didn't credit my instincts enough. Even though they led me to where I was, I didn't trust them, and I needed to trust them, and so I did. I dropped out of uni, and that was about 4 years ago, yeah.
And now, you're Jack Garratt,
right? Who's
the
that
big
guy?
musician.
I don't know, but I want to be friends with him, right?
Over here.
Hey.
Raise your hand.
These guys.
Okay, so moving on to happier and more fluffy topics.
Fluffy topics.
You play a lot of instruments. Do you have a favorite?
I was thinking about this last night, and I love playing the guitar because I feel like it's the instrument I can kind of speak most honestly through. But electric, definitely. But if I ever was gonna join a band and not be me, I'd play drums in it because it's more fun to just sit in the back and just drive it home.
Well, now we gotta know what that band name would be.
Oh, there's many. I used to have a Twitter account of band names that I would make up. Me and my friends would make them up. What's the Twitter account called? I can't remember what it was called, but the whole joke was the minute anyone would say anything that sounded just slightly like a band name, you would stare at them in the eyes and go, "Hi, we're so and so and so," and then count yourself in for the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't remember what Twitter was called, but there's many. I can't remember any of them right now. I can't remember. Oh, I did have Voila Waterfall. No, Voila Waterfall. I really like that one. The Voila is in italics and in lowercase, and then Waterfall is all. Yeah, man. So we play synths with other synths. That's how that band would go.
Now we gotta find Voila Waterfall.
I gotta find those other guys to do the next endeavor with me.
So I think I also read that you don't like to be specific to one genre when you write music or you play music. So when do you enjoy? I've noticed you've been compared to Ed Sheeran and people like that. Do you find yourself being put in a box when you're compared to other artists, or do you like it, or are you indifferent?
No, I think at one point in my life I may have been indifferent to it, but that was probably when I was still trying to figure out exactly what I was doing. But now I can kind of say with confidence I actively disagree with people when they compare me to artists, in the same way I would actively disagree if you tried to compare any artist to any other kind of artist. We all take inspiration from places and from music that we admire, but I always find it really funny when I would get compared to artists I've never listened to, because that for me kind of just defeats the whole point of then collecting all of those artists and putting them into one genre, especially if some of those people have never heard of each other. It just kind of shows that music is such a great and powerful thing that you can kind of achieve the same answer by going a different route. So for example, I've never listened to an Ed Sheeran record all the way through, and I get compared to him all the time. I've never listened to an Imagine Dragons record all the way through, but apparently I've been compared to them before. But then on the other side, there's comparisons that are made of me that I listen to relentlessly, and you can hear so I get some of the musical ideas I make sometimes are kind of reminiscent of Stevie Wonder or of I'm trying to think of other people who I've been compared to now. But that's the thing, I try not to read or listen to any of it because I feel like it diminishes my exactly. It starts to put me into a pigeonhole, and that's not what I want to do. I'm like actively avoiding that.
I feel like a lot of artists are like that, but they just don't want to say it, you
Right.
know, and I feel like I agree with you completely about the individuality of your...
Well, yeah, and I think that, but that's the whole point of it, is like if you have something that can, like, because that's the thing, the reason why I find it so funny and ludicrous is that the kind of comparisons I get are from everywhere and of everyone. To me, that kind of just says that there's a point at which it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, if I can be compared to sounding like 15 artists, which is a very small amount, in comparison to the amount of artists I have been compared to in the last 4 years, then suddenly doesn't that mean that comparing me to other people makes no point anymore? Like, I don't know, not that I think of myself as being this brand new style of music that's never been touched before. That's not it at all. I take inspiration from everything, but I don't know, people always ask me, how would you describe your music? And I go, just listen to it.
Yeah.
Just listen to it. And if you don't like it, then great, but at least you've listened. And if it's not me, then listen to something else. If it's something you may not have listened to before, try it, because it might be good. Yeah.
I like that honesty, and I hear the honesty in your music. Is there anything you want to tell people to maybe get them to listen to your new album? Maybe some people that have heard of your name, but maybe are not jumping to, discover new artists?
I mean, if you like music, try and like it, I guess. I don't know whether that's... Huh?
Be open-minded?
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's exactly that. I don't know. I remember being that kid who only listened to one band, and if anyone else told me that I should listen to anything else or that they listen to, I'd be like, no, screw you, man. You don't get music like I do. And there are people my age who still think like that, and that's terrifying. Like, art and music and musicianship and creativity is the greatest, most freeing thing that we have as young adults. And if you like one thing, the likelihood is you'll like something else that is either similar to it or totally the opposite. There's a chance I may be that for you, and if I'm not, then that's also cool. But give it a go, I guess.
Any last words?
Spaghetti. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was really nice meeting you.